Greetings, Jedi traders. David here of TradingFibs.com to bring you the technical momentum outlook for week 6, starting here February 5th, Sunday, all the way through the end of the week for 2017. As always, please seek financial advisement when trading with your money, as these videos are for educational purposes only. Support your knowledge in the market. See what's going through my head on any given day or week. Always make sure you have a solid trading plan and always manage your stop when placing a trade. All right, welcome Jedi traders. If this is your first time to the video series, I do a daily pre-market trend every day, 15 minutes posted prior to the market, where we are currently in technical trend. Again, any given day, I have absolutely no idea which direction we're going. Yes, I have the hopes, the probabilities, only set up on the charts on an intraday basis, based on a strategy that I used, a combination of hike and Ashi bars, where the high probability setup underneath a 5144 cloud in sync with a 534, in hopes to ride the wave, ride the trend as long as possible, and using a trade management strategy by using the swing high stop. Again, what you're looking at is a golden setup, a high probability setup, where this obviously doesn't look like the market every day, so we're only hoping to find runs like this on any given opportunity. But when it comes to the big picture, we got to look at higher time frames. So the goal of each pre-market trend, followed by a session recap of where those highest probability trends were, and then recapping that on a weekly basis, and then looking ahead where we are in the upcoming week. All right, so let's jump right in. Quick recap from last week. Again, last week, lots of economic data. Globex sessions were looking really good. Some of those early momentum entries to the downside, but for the most part, the Globex session were the runs of the week. They're on Tuesday, followed by a nice move on Wednesday downside on the ES, but there was Globex session again on Thursday in the markets, as the right back upside on Friday morning, the Globex session led to the upside. So overall week that laden with economic data and earnings, pretty much moved the market in the overnight and offered very little opportunity, perhaps at the early get-go in each day's regular trading hour session, for an opening trend. But again, got to watch the charts, be ready in both directions. So where are we technically on the charts? Let's take a look at the charts. We'll jump into the charts and then give you my 2 bits of where we might be headed next week in both directions. Let's take a look at the open gaps here. Start with the YM, ES, and NQ as the YM daily charts here. We managed, after a little bit of consolidation, grab right back upside, tag that 20,000 there on the 20K on the YM, and NQ back upside after leaving in the wake its daily gap. Again, if you're not familiar with my daily gaps, it's simply a gap from price action the previous session. Obviously, 24-hour gaps don't exist much, as price action tends to come and tag those. But on regular trading hours, open gaps is a 100% guarantee that at some point the market action will come back and tag those out. And so what does that mean? Well, let's just take a look at the ES. 2279.75 being the first open gap downside, lean all the way down. Yep, those numbers, 1860.75 all the way downside. So what does that mean? That means that it's a level of concern to watch in the future, as market action will eventually return to those lows, close those out. Whether that happens this week, next week, 2 weeks, 5 years on down the road, it doesn't matter. It's a matter of always watching to know that market has to correct itself at some point, and we will get those. It's not yet there. We're still holding at these highs. So price action last week lifting right back up. All right, so let's jump right into the daily big pick, where we are on the weekly, daily, and 4-hour, and then we'll roll to the ADX and the range chart and give a possible scenario of both directions. Starting with the indices, we'll start with the NQ here on a weekly chart. Obviously, regain of those highs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right back here. from around that 48.80 level all the way upside to the overbought 51.56. Again, an overbought just means we're pushing upper levels. Doesn't mean we can't go higher, but when we line it up with the other time frames, such as the daily here, all right, we're even Steven here for the two levels together. And we are holding above the 5,200. So momentum here clearly to the upside as we retest at 51.56, which has been a thorn, a line in the sand all week. Or not just this week, but for the majority of January, as we could see. Let's actually open up that chart a little bit wider there. There you go. 51.56 has been a resistance since the end of January. Numerous attempts back upside. So right now, the NQ back at 51.56. So to push any higher, obviously we'll look intraday every day, as mentioned there in the beginning on the pre-trend that again is posted 15 minutes prior to market action, market open, U.S. regular trading hours. And so we'll look for what are the possible scenarios in both directions, but obviously current momentum still upside, retesting 51.56. So on a 4-hour, again, we'll be looking downside. The bigger picture would be all the way back to 5,000, but beyond that, again, we'd be looking for support here off the 50. So 5,000 also being within the resistance level here on the daily. I wanted to pull up the yearly as well here. As you can see, we're also up at 51.56. So multiple charts here. Let's go ahead and just bring that over a little bit. There you go. So 51.56 after looking at lows here back in January. Again, testing these MML levels. But again, 51.56 being that line in the sand. All right, let's jump over and just take a look at the ADX also. And what's notable, again, kind of testing this out, nothing concrete, no holy grail here. Just the fact that NQ here, which the range chart is something that I watch every day, 51.56, again, the same number. So obviously, consistency, common thread across the charts. The 51.44 cloud, again, as we use on an intraday basis that I showed you here on the, excuse me, not that chart. Let's go to, there we go. The same idea here, just on a lower time frame. This is a 10.70. The same idea is applied to the bigger chart. So here on a 100-tick chart, here we see the resistance here up here of 51.56. But for the most part, we've been in a complete upper trend for some time now as we hold above this cloud. So 51.56. So the case to the downside, we said 5,000 major support resistance, which we just saw downside here. So look for the 5,000. Eventually, that would be the 50 MA. As well as in the combination, if you watch directional movement index, we're still back in an uptrend, resistance up here. So again, we have some room to go on the ADX back up to 40. That could push us up here to 51.95. 51.95 as we see the levels up here, 51.95. And anything higher, we'd be pushing up to 52.34. There's the case to the upside. Now, as I said on an intraday basis, and I will give you a small peek here, 60-minute chart and a 15-minute chart is where we will look intraday and as well for those numbers before we get to those 51.95. So make sure you watch those intraday or pre-market trends to see as the MML levels change and as we continue to hold in trend. So I'm going still with the big picture on the NQ to the upside. To the upside. Downside, we'll be looking at 50.78 first downside as one of the first resistance. But again, like I said, watch the 60-minute first as we post each day. So starting out on today's open Globex and throughout Monday, we'll see if 51.36, 51.17 is breached. If not, we'll be looking down to 50.78 to start out the week. All right, so there's your NQ. Let's roll into the YM as the YM continues to also held up at the highs, hitting the 20K bell. Again, yearly picture on the YM still holding up here at the 20K once again. All right, so there we are, 20K downside, major support resistance, 18,750. Again, on the 4-hour on the daily chart, holding right at the 50 MA. 50 MA holding support, just almost breached that there on Wednesday and Thursday, but we held upside, so we're looking upside to 2013 on the bigger picture as the next level's upside, 18750 on the bigger picture downside. Well, before we get to those, we look to the 4-hour chart. We'll need to break some resistance there. If 20K is unable to hold, we look back down to 19,844 and then 19,688 before we actually break down to these lower numbers. So again, upside, 20,039, 20,078 up here, all the way up to the highs around 26.25 if market is to hold. If not, if we break the 50 MA here and we continue downside, we'll be looking to 9,844. Well, let's jump right into the ADX and the course setup chart as we have similar picture. Again, there's that 19,844. ADX after coming off a high up here, again, a confirmation of pullback. Price action finds support back in the range and breaking up above 20. We'll watch for the breakup above 24 to give us the momentum confirmation, an additional market internal that says, yep, we might be heading higher to at least 20,039, 20,078, all the way up to 117. Again, we'll check those 60-minute and 50-minute charts throughout the week as we're showing complete resistance. Any pullback to 19,844, again, we'll have to pass through 922 first to get down to 844. All right, and wrapping up here on the ES, let's take a look at the weekly, daily, and the 4-hour. Before we get to that, let's take a look at the yearly as we continue to hold up here at the highs. Again, resurgence in the resistance zone up here. 2250 has been that line in the sand downside. 2281.25 upside. Next push up, looking at 2312.50. That's right, 2312.50 here on both a weekly and a daily. Downside 2250 support as the 50 MA now moving up. Again, current trend still upside. And taking a look at the ES on a 4-hour chart, there's the 2296 before we get up to 2312.50. Downside, look to that 2281.25 support first, and then down to 2265. Taking a look at the ES on the big picture on the range chart. Again, same picture, 2281.25 down here, down to 2265. Anything lower, we'll be looking at 2250, but current trend now, market internal momentum still upside as the ADX lifting back up. So a little bit concerned. We might hit a little bit of pocket of resistance up here, but looking to 2296. And as we head into the Globex and the Monday session, anything downside, look for that 2281.25, 2265, and 2273 here as lower levels before if we head down to 2250. Take a look across the board as we do each day. Just a quick peek here at the GC gold price action. Again, bouncing off the 1125. Look for the resistance here at 1250. Again, sitting in between the 50 and the 200 SMA. So 1250 on both the daily and the weekly charts. So we have resistance to the upside. If we're to break upside, we'll take a look at the 1312.50. Otherwise, we'll be looking back downside at 1125. But before we get there, we got to break some of these levels here on the daily chart. All right, take a look at the crude downside. Again, we're kind of in a quasi. We mentioned on the daily gaps here, crude with a 55.41 as we head upside. Daily gap downside, we got a ways to go all the way down to 46.51, which would be the next level downside. Gold pretty volatile these days, but again, we're holding back up inside, back up above major support resistance. 62.50 would be the highest level here on the weekly, but 56.25 a more possible reality that we might go up and tag that before any resistance pulls back on the crude. Taking a look at the 6E euro as price action bounces off the lows, breaking upside about $1.07.422. We're looking upside to $1.12 up here, but before we get there, we're going to have some resistance here at $1.09 and the 200 period SMA. Again, reflective of American indices. We'll have to watch price action in contrast to that as well. And then finally, looking at the 6J, both on a weekly and a daily. Weekly, again, finding support here at the major support resistance. We got a 50-50 direction up here. 93.75 would be the upside with some resistance here if the yen is to continue to trend, as we've seen for the most part of January and now start of February. A lot of consolidation here. If we head back downside, we'll be looking back down to 81.25 after breaking these lower levels, 87.50. We'll start to then look at the 4-hour chart and the 60 and the 50-minute charts. All right, Jedi traders, one thing I do not have a chart up right now, and I've been posting it all week, but it has been the VIX. The VIX, those February 15 strike calls, which volume open interest at 20 to 23, holding at 1 million plus as we post each day and remind ourselves in the daily trend. So to get to those numbers upside also means that price action will also eventually pull back as well. All right, looking ahead to this week, February 6th, starting Monday. Looking across the board, we look at the Red Star bets, international trade there, petroleum. So kind of a lighter week as in compared to last week. We have Disney earnings coming down on Tuesday, and we have multiple Fed speakers throughout the week. And then throw in any political news out of Washington that might move the markets or anything worldwide as well. Pay attention to those Globex. That's can have an effect on the market each day. So being ready in both directions seems to be the ever-growing sentiment in the indices as increasing amount of investors in VIX ETFs, overall indexes pile in. Pessimism continuing to build, as stated by the most recent data poll there by AAI. Pretty much market euphoria continuing to hold at these new highs and earnings that appear to be doing well. It's no wonder that the interest at this point has peaked, that we are pretty much in a state of market decision and direction. Obviously, for the intraday trader, you may wonder on any given day if there are any traders that are left in this market, as volume seems to most likely come to a dead stall for hours at a time. Rest assured, they are still there, but the precise timing continue to drive this market in one direction. We know those perma bears are hurting some. Can't wait to hit that flush button, but until that moment, we hold the course. All right, guys, so coming up this week, watch that VIX, those strike price calls, watch Disney earnings and other key companies reporting this week. At bottom line here, technical momentum probability continuing to remain at this point to lead us higher on the indices with caution on the bigger pick. In my humble opinion, if all things remain constant, nothing occurs to shake things downside, as stated over the last several weeks. At this point, it won't take much. I state that with caution as seen in the charts, in the video, and posted in the blog. We are at a technical momentum decision time, as we were last week, based on my strategy that puts price action in a stall at these levels. All right, guys, no harm holding here. Weekend checkout. Make sure you check out Jason Kelly for the long-term portfolio. Check it out, his 3 sig and 9 sigs. Good stuff out there. Also this week, if you want to check out some of the videos here with Chat with Traders, good trading psychology. And then for anybody who wants to get more information as well in the market on Heiken Ashi bars, my buddy over at EducoFin, and I use the term buddy loosely, but good stuff coming out of EducoFin each day, or each week, at least in his newsletter too. All right, guys, that concludes an insight into the weekly technical momentum of the indices and key future markets. Feel free to stop by at tradingfibs.com or any of my social media outlets to obtain more information. My trading mantra of one simple strategy: any market, any chart, any time frame will keep you disciplined. You can find me every day on Twitter at TradingFibs, and as always, I leave the crystal ball to the experts. I only watch what's in front of me and on my charts, and as always, leave your bias at the door when trading. Hey, guys, we got a new look on the charts, using additional signals to just keep you in that trend, That's all it takes. And using the signals here only when in confirmation might keep you in just a little bit longer. Hey, guys, for those of you interested in joining us in our community of like-minded traders seeking those highest probability setups on any given day, feel free to email me at david@tradingfibs.com. You may join us on Thursdays or Fridays to view the live charts as they happen in the trading day. Hey guys, have yourselves a Blue Zone week wherever you may be. Good day, good nights, and have a good trading week.